In the line of duty, ambush in Waco sounded really interesting. When I read the description on Google, I thought, okay, this sounds really fascinating. Unfortunately, I didn't like it, and I will expand on that in a moment. And I'll also read the description from Google. I actually became aware of this for Tim Daly, wanted to watch it for him, and I felt like it was going to be a really interesting experience. And while I'm pleased I got a bit of an education about the true events, because I hadn't heard of it before, I didn't really care for it. This was released in 1993. It's directed by Dick Lowry, written by Phil Penningroth, with a cast including, of course, Tim Daly, William O'Leary, Neal McDonough, Lewis Smith, and various others. And the description from Google is as follows. The tragic true story of how one man's religious beliefs led to the siege at Waco, Texas, and the subsequent botched FBI rescue. And there's a little bit more to the description, but it does go into spoiler detail, so I won't give that away. Obviously, if you're aware of the true story, I assume you'll be aware of the spoiler detail, but just in case not, I won't spoil it. And it did sound really fascinating, and I will say the story itself does seem like a really important story to tell. It's not the fact that I don't think it's worth making into a film. It is simply the fact that I don't think the film is very engaging. Yes, there are a few scenes here and there that I enjoyed, but as a whole I found it to be a bit dull. But the true story, from the basic information that I have, doesn't sound dull. So I don't think the storytelling is very strong. The whole siege aspect, yes, there were times when I had an emotional response to that. It did feel quite gripping. I was emotionally invested, but I think that's largely because I knew it was based on truth, and I was imagining this happening in reality. Had it been purely a work of fiction, that element obviously wouldn't have been there, and it wouldn't have been as strong in those moments. But again, I feel like those moments are still quite few and far between. The story as a whole in the film isn't that great. If you know how it compares to the true story, please feel free to let me know. I'd certainly be interested in learning more, but judging it purely in the film, I think it's a worthwhile story to tell, but I don't think the storytelling is the strongest. The characters also weren't that interesting. I don't know if that's the case in real life. I don't know how true these individuals were to the real people involved in the story. The performances were okay though. Visually it's quite good, with decent locations and good camera work and lighting. I just found it to be a bit flat. And that's not how a film like this should feel. Do I recommend it? Only if you're very interested. If there's a specific reason why you want to watch it, either you're aware of the topic and you want to see how they handle the story, or you're a fan of somebody in the cast, give it a go. You might get more out of it than I did. But personally, I didn't love it. I don't think the story is as strong as it could have been, purely based on the film, the storytelling. Visually, it's fine. The performances are decent enough. It's not the worst, but I definitely wouldn't watch it again.